29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14.
13.
12.
11.
10.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
7.
5.
4.
3.
2. 1. 0.
They call me Cuba Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom. Yeah.
Ah, so I saw that there was a $10 donation from Keen Custom Tools. Didn't say anything. Thank you very much for the donation. Guys, we are inside the house because, well, 2 reasons. It's a mess in the studio right now. We're getting ready. We have a fumigation coming up. They brought me all the bags that I have to pack all the clothes or all the food in, and I have spent the day. We have a ton of dry goods. I haven't slept. Like, I worked all night last night, and then I worked on all that stuff today, so I haven't slept. So we'll do this live feed as long as we can, but to make it more interesting, I'm going to have something special. So, yeah, it's been a long night. I'm going to bed after this. Filmed a bunch of stuff, and like I said, just realized that I have to get all this stuff done for this fumigation, which means I got to pack a bag, and I got to pack up all my knives, and I got to lock up all my stuff, and I got to take stuff over to Tino's house so it's not sitting here unattended, because I have some very expensive knives in this house that I don't really want to try and take to the base hotel. So there's all kinds of dry goods laid out on my studio floor. So might get a job at my dad's making $18 an hour, 16 to 18. I'll tell you guys something funny. This isn't funny, but why you're getting a fumigation. So the neighbor was going to sell the house, and they've been doing all this renovation. They were going to sell the house. Well, they decided, instead of selling the house, because the market's all screwy right now, they're doing all this renovation, and his son is moving in. So now his son has moved in and started doing the renovation. But during the course of the renovation, they found that there's termites. And since our units share an adjoining wall, like if I beat on this wall hard enough, you can hear it in Halio's living room, because the walls, they share a main wall. It's one unit. It's like a duplex. So since they have termites, and the owner next door is really good friends with my landlord, they decided they're doing both units at the same time. So that means that I'm getting a fumigation, and I get to spend a couple nights at a really nice, I'm staying at the Navy Lodge, which is basically like, I'm staying at the Navy Lodge at NAB. So if you guys know what NAB is Navy Amphibious Base. It's the SEAL base. So I have a beautiful view, probably, of the SEAL team obstacle course, the Buds obstacle course. So wait, who's paying for the fumigation? Not me. The landlord. Landlord has to pay for the fumigation and has to pay my lodging. It's just how it works. We're going to eat these, and this is going to be fun. So before anybody goes any further, what's everybody carrying today? I'll tell you what I've got, because I just filmed a video about it. 5 o'clock this morning. I am carrying the CJRB button lock Lago. It's a good knife. Todd Carr's here. Todd, I thought you were a paying member. You've got your pee-pee. Well, that's congratulations. Are you that kid that was in class? Are you that kid? You're the kid that had to get picked up in the special school bus. You know, the short one with a lift on the side, tinted windows so you couldn't see you licking them. Congratulations. You've got your pee-pee. I got mine too. Quentin Bundy says, "What's up, knife nerds?" Oh, you mean you have the knife, the PP, the big PP, or the little PP, whatever it was, knife. Wow, I don't think I need that now. It had gotten chilly. I'm not gonna lie, I had everything open because I was in and out, and I was taking out trash because it's trash day and all that. It got chilly in here, and I'm sitting on a heating pad, and now it's a little warmer than I want it to be in here. The Terra Knives Mark 1. I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen it. I just have not gotten to handle one of those. I got yelled at by my wife because I was talking to her on the phone a few minutes ago, and I was doing this. And she's like, "You bring that knife in the house?" And I was like, "No, I'm in the garage." She's like, "You lie. We're FaceTime." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm in the kitchen. I'm not allowed to have this knife in the house. This is off this." But here's the thing. My wife is currently 6,200 miles away. Yeah, she is. You guys want to see something funny? You guys want to see something fun? I'm going to show you something. I saved this specifically for you guys. I'm going to show you what it's like to watch a Michael Jackson music video on times 2 speed. Times 2, times 3. I saw that and I was like, someone took time to do this. What was this? Where are we at? So you have, let's see, Zoroaster's here. Hey, metalheads. I didn't get to say hi to you in Papa J's live. Sorry. Oh, you're talking to each other. There we go. Nope, you want the fat PP. That's what it was, the fat PP. I'm warm. That heating pad works really well to warm you up. Let's see here. Carrying the ZTO 220. I did a video that went up today. We were looking at the off-grid knives that Jared sent me. One of them is their search and rescue knife. And it reminds me a lot of the 0300 in a Warncliffe. Now, I had the 0300 BL, the BK. That was that Mick Strider design. I may have been Mick Strider and Ken Onion together, but it was a ZT Strider design. It had the recurve blade, big bulky thing. It was an assisted opening, and I didn't like it. I had it, and I didn't like it, and the only reason I had it was it was an incident. Sorry. I have to go back up. Let's see here. I'm trying to find. She's thousands of miles away. It doesn't count yet. Yes, it's like I still get yelled at. I had brought groceries in and left them on the counter, and I got yelled at. She's like, "Table look messy," and I was like, "That's because I haven't put the groceries away yet. There was grocery bags on the kitchen table. It was all the canned stuff." So. Todd Carr has got a Leatherman Surge, a Gerber Dime, Gerber Shard. Why you would carry a Gerber after that video we saw the other day. Cold Steel 4 Max Scout, O-Knife Freeze 2, Copper Scales. I have an O-Knife Freeze 2 here that we're going to do a video about. Mini Freak in the 5th pocket. What's in your prison pocket? What's in your prison pocket? Aiden is in your prison pocket, isn't he? Like, morning butt sex. It's always awesome. Unless you're in prison, then it's different. It's surprise butt sex. It's always awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I tried to take a nap on the couch here earlier, and it did not go well. I don't sleep well on this couch. That's a good idea of Mock Count to get you. Who's asking? She's thousands of miles away. It doesn't count. Japan. Yes, my wife is in Japan right now. She's visiting her parents. So, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good video. It's a pretty good video. It sounds like a girl moaning painfully. No, it didn't. It sounded like Michael Jackson on a loop. Juan 23 is here. Juan was one of my buddies that would hang out here in San Diego, and he moved. He moved back up to Central Valley. I may have to make that trip up just to see y'all's family farm, Juan. I haven't been on a farm for a while. It just feels as though I need to make a trip to a farm now that I know someone that has one. I am going to wind up going back to the hospital. I will tell you that. My guts are all screwed up. No one wants a skinny pee-pee. Well, I want one skinnier than mine. Might not be able to hit the bottom of a soup can, but I can hit the sides of a tuna can. Let's see here. Spine whack that ZT, but no, don't spine whack Z. Don't spine whack any knife. That's just stupid. That's not how you use your knife. I don't understand. Like everybody's like, you guys spine whack it. Make sure. Why? I don't cut like this. I don't cut with the knife like this. I don't try and fucking muddle my. I don't muddle my fucking mint for my mojito with the back of my knife. Why do I give a shit if the knife fails a spine whack? I can see that there would be some reasons. I mean, I know it's a good test to see if your lock geometry is good. But spine whacking a knife, that's why I don't agree with, like, I do like a good solid lock on a knife, and Cold Steel really hit the market running with that triad lock. But the fact is, do you need a knife that holds 450 pounds on the spine? No, no one does. Unless you happen to need it to stick in something and tie a rope around and pull yourself up out of a crevasse. Maybe then I could say. So I think a lot of that stuff, a lot of the stuff that people flip out about on knives is just a bunch of bullshit. It's not good enough steel. Really? You're going to open boxes at your bullshit job. That's all you're going to do with it. Maybe you're going to sharpen a pencil. People that really are going to use their knives a lot, I'm going to tell you right now, guys that I know that really hard use their knives, you know what steel they put in it? I'm still up here. What's up, Leo Bav? I haven't seen you on a live feed. Welcome to a live feed. What I was saying is, guys at construction sites, they know there's better steels. Do you know why they get cheaper steels? One, because the knife's cheaper, and there's a good chance they're going to wind up losing it, breaking it, or leaving it lay somewhere, and someone's going to steal it. Or two, they don't want something that's so fucking hard to sharpen, because they're going to go home after an 8-hour shift moving rock and concrete and beating on things with hammers. The last thing they want to fucking do is have to dick around with sharpening a knife that's in a super hard, stupid steel that they can't handle. So the majority of people that are looking at these super steels and looking at them like, that's what I want. Now, there are some exceptions. Big Brown Bear makes knives for hunters and outdoorsmen that want stuff like that. That's an exception. But the majority of people that I know that really use their knives hard don't want a super steel because it's harder to maintain. Let's see here. But like I said, welcome. Picking up a hinder or fixie, Mike? No, I won't be picking up any hinders. I like Brian over at Transparent Knives, and I think that I think Rick was being a giant fucking. He was being a giant vagina about the whole thing. So we're not doing it. I meant to ask you guys, the audio's good. I didn't grab my headphones. I will not be picking that up. Is this the casting couch episode? No, like I said, since we're prepping for the fumigation, all that food, the dry goods and everything that I have to bag up, I've been up for 24 hours. I got a lot of that stuff done today. I still have a lot to do. I've got to do all the stuff in the refrigerator. So it's just a pain. So I don't want to be out there. It's just too much stuff. Let's see. 4 months ago, one knife. Command line. 4 months ago, one knife. Now 17. You guys are killing me. I've got probably $17,000 worth of knives just right over here because we said we were going to look at some of my favorite knives. Spyderco Endura in the pocket. That's a good choice. I like the Spyderco Endura. I bag on Spyderco all the time, but I do like the Spyderco Endura. It's probably one of my all-time favorite knives. I like the Spyderco. The one that I'm doing is the giveaway. The Southern Hanan, the Brad Southern Hanan. I like that, but just not enough to keep it, and it needs to go to a good home. It was a gift to me. It's a gift to you guys. So if it's in prison, it's called. No, we're going to talk about that. Does anyone know a company that makes custom leather holsters? Yes. Quentin, hit me up. Send me an email. My email address is in most of my videos. It's gunmonkey1974. I will get you in touch. There is a company that they sent me a bunch of holsters. I did some videos on another platform when I had a 2A channel that I was doing over on another platform. And they were one of they sent me a bunch of stuff for review. And so they do really good holsters. You can basically get a holster made in leather for anything you want. Or there is another leather place that I use, 1791, 1792 gun leather, something like that. I'm trying to get caught up. Mike, what's your take on RWL 34? Never sharpened it before. Better at a low grit or high? RWL 34 is a great steel. I usually do mine at about 1,000 grit. I also have taken it all the way to 10,000 grit. It's nightmare. It's another one of those steels that really does hold up well at pretty much any grit. Love my 0300. Beat the hell out of it for years. That's actually thick enough to use as a pry bar. I just didn't like it. I did not like that knife. I would say you're good with pretty much any grit on RWL 34. Got titanium screws and a linch pin, titanium cage for the lock bar or for the lock for my Mantics coming. I'm going to be doing some anodizing soon. Spine whack all NAFs. I don't spine whack anything I own. Never have. I see you have a, yes, as a matter of fact, I have this. I have the special tactical version that has the built-in flashlight. I don't know if you've seen that. This is the $600 tactical version. You can use it as a 90-degree light. If I can set my flashlight down and I got stuck on a pivot. Yes, I love this knife. This knife has a video that goes up tomorrow. It's one of the ones I was working on today and got done filming and tried to take a nap and then was doing some edit. And I realized that I sounded like an idiot and reshot the entire video. That's why I didn't film 4 videos in the last 24 hours. I only did 2. Yeah, I love this knife. It is a laser. The butt comment, mock clown. I saw it. Let's see here. Let's see here. 1095. 1090. What are we talking about? Don't you say. What are we talking about 1095 here? I don't have my reading glasses. I don't even know where they went. I'm trying to scroll through these comments and see here. 1095. Are we talking about 1095 steel? I made a couple knives in 1095, a couple customs. Never abuse your knife. You have to take care of your tools. Exactly. Like, I mean, like, okay, I don't spine whack my knives because you know what? I don't use my knives like that. And so I wouldn't think that that would be a good way to do it. So I'm trying to bring this up here. Let's see here. Let's hide that comment. My pocket can't afford the knives I want. Yeah, it can. Took me 5 or 6 years to finally get my Norseman. I picked up pennies and dimes and quarters walking around on the street. Anytime I found money, if I got change, I put it in my pocket. Your patience is what's preventing you from getting the knives you want. If you want something bad enough, you will save the money and you will purchase it, and you will just forgo other knives to get what you want. I did it for, like I said, it took me 6 years, I want to say, to get the money saved up to get this. And that was, if I found a penny in my car, it went in the little can. And I had to dig into that pot. I had to dig into that pot of money for stuff. I had to buy my kids skates out of it once or twice. I had to do a bunch of other stuff out of it because this is how I make money. And so the income is nowhere near what it was when I worked for the government. So we scrimp and save. And yes, I dug into that account that I was nickel and diming together to get set up for that knife. I absolutely took that time to get that knife. If you want something, you can get it. You just have to be patient. In this push button social media world of I want it now, instant gratification, it's been lost on how much, because not only am I happy that I got my Grail knife, I did it without taking any money from anything we needed anywhere in the house. It was a kind of an accomplishment. So I'm proud of how I did it, and I did it. I did not have to sell other stuff to get it. So let's get down through here. I'm trying to look through here and see what some of your comments are. I'm trying to get. What about ARPM9? So I was one of the first people that got to test ARPM9 because my sea snake design was the first knife released in ARPM9. And so I got to try it, and it is great. I love ARPM9. It is one of the easiest steels to maintain. You can literally put a piece of newspaper or phone book paper over a block of wood and absolutely strop it right back up. I did a video where I cut cardboard. It got dull, and I stropped it back to hair pop and sharp. That's the one you have. Yeah, I saw your comment. And I put a purchase link for this knife, the video tomorrow. There is a Blade HQ link to this knife. Let's see here. I put my Norseman on PayPal credit. I didn't. I saved up enough money that I had it available. We had the big influx of money when we sold the house. And I was like, now's the time. Now's the time to get it. And I found exactly the one I wanted. Very serious. What is this? Let's see here. I'm trying to read down through this. Oh, hey, holy crap. 1095 beater steel. Yeah, I've made a couple really good custom knives in 1095 steel, and they came out great. We haven't even looked at the knives yet. You said people who hard use knives use X steel, but you never said the steel. You got distracted. No, I'm saying people that hard use their knives typically are using something that's in a cheaper steel that's easier to maintain. 1095, a lot of guys like 440C. 440C is actually not a bad steel. 1095, D2, 14C28N. Those are all really, really good options. I don't have my bell. Sorry. Ding, 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 clang, clang, clang. I'd hit my coffee cup, but I really like this coffee cup. And one of you guys got this for me, so I don't even know where to replace this from. There we go. Thank you for the 5 bones. Like I said, I don't have my bell out here. I wasn't distracted. I was just done. That was pretty much just the end of it. That knife was unreal. Yeah, Juan got to see my Norseman for the first time, and he was like, holy shit. Like, that was like, there's like a look on someone's face when they handle a high-end knife for the first time. It's always awesome. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm so far behind. What was my previous occupation, government type job, military? So I worked in the military. I was a weapons guy. I did shipboard artillery for a lot of years. Then I went to, I forget what they call the unit now. It was over at Expeditionary Combat. We used to call it MESF. It was like the bottom rung of like the Special Forces ladder over there. And I worked there and did weapon stuff there. And then I got medically retired shortly after that. I ran the armory while I was on Limdu at Point Loma. And then I got out and I worked in ATFP. I ran our counter surveillance, counterterrorism stuff over at, for the Department of Defense for about 6 years, then realized I was just fed up with that life. I did not want to work for the government anymore. And I figured, hey, I'm a big boy. I can take off training reels and do my own shit. So we've been abandoned, Ian. No Shane. Yeah, no, where is Shane? Is the Norseman too big for smaller hands? I don't think so. It has a very good shape to it. So you got that forward choil there, and then all this palm swell and stuff here. Even though like I've got really big hands, it's like I've got the whole handle pretty much encompassed. A smaller hand, I've had people with smaller hands that absolutely can handle. My daughter loves this knife. My daughter literally will. She's like, hey, can I use your good knife? I'm like, what are you cutting? She's like, I need to cut open these packages. I'm like, be careful. It's really sharp. And my wife was like, why don't you just give her scissors? And I'm like, She's like, what if she cuts herself? And I was like, she'll be more careful next time. She'll learn a lesson. You can't give a child a knife. A knife isn't a present. I was like, yeah, it's a really good present. It's like, it's dangerous. What if they cut themselves? It's educational. They learn something. Let's see here. Think about it. Do you get knives for Christmas? If I got shit for Christmas, my wife's Japanese. She doesn't celebrate Christmas. We get my kids stuff for Christmas. I haven't gotten anything except for a sweatshirt for Christmas in a very long time. 14C28, where I saw it on here. 14C28N steel is a good steel for any knife. It absolutely is. Let's see here. I'm trying to scroll down through here. You can sizzle Norseman and no, I bet you can. What did I do in the military? I just told you. I worked inside a fucking 3-story gun for a lot of years, so I don't hear so good. Time for an antlers hat. It is almost Christmas. I am going to put when I get back from my hiatus at the Navy Lodge over at SEAL Base, because that's the only place I could find a room for a price that wasn't going to break my landlord's budget. I found a room for $104 a night at the Navy Lodge over at North Island at the Naval Amphibious Base. When I get back from that, I am going to put up my Christmas tree, and I may get my Santa hat out. Norseman is big, but also very thin. It's very thin. What it makes up for, if you have a thin knife this way, thin, you want something broad. You still want to fill that hand. You want to fill up the space in the hand so you don't fatigue those muscles when you're cutting. Seems logical. You ever hear of YouTube channel Mike Burn Fire? It's 2 retired service. They play video games talking about their service times. I've seen it. I wish CRK would make a flipper version. I wish CRK made a flipper knife instead of a slow roller. I'd buy one and instantly sell my Winter Blades factor. I don't. I like their knives the way they are. Flippers for them are kind of outside of what they typically doing. 154 versus 14C28N. 14C every time and every day and twice on Sunday. Let's see here. I'm trying to scroll through. Okay. Is Brent going live tonight? Well, who fucking cares about Brent? This is the live feed you're in. Maybe you should take that offline. I should put you in timeout right now. CRK flipper wouldn't work well on their washer, on our washer setup. Parker, did you get your knife? Parker won a giveaway on my paying members. He's one of my paying members. He won it, and I sent it to him. Do it. You won't. Oh, really? Watch this. And Ian Coates is in timeout. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ian. Go ahead. Go ahead and make comments. You can't because I put you in timeout. I got it, Mike. Really cool little thing. Yes, you got the Ruffian. I actually screwed up. You got the Ruffian. The Ruffian was supposed to be this month's giveaway. So somebody else is going to win that Olight Beagle that I've tried to give away like 5 times. What CRK do you recommend if you were to buy another one? I'd say if I was going to buy another one, I would just buy another Sebenza. I love my Sebenza. I don't know. You guys can't ever really see it because typically I'm using a green screen. So this is a prime opportunity. I anodized this green. And then as it wears, I go back and I re-anodize it bronze, and it looks like copper that has patinaed, and then the brass is starting, or the copper is starting to show through. Ooh, pardon me. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like the Sebenza 21. I've seen the 31s that have the new lockup on them. I'm not unimpressed. I don't see that they're much different than than the original 21. So they are seems logical. Mike doesn't even like me that much. Ian, that's like honorable timeout. Mike doesn't even like me that much to troll me with a timeout. Yeah, but you typically aren't saying things I find abhorrent. So you guys want to look at a hand, pull out a couple of, I have a couple. Let's try English, Mike. A lot of coffee, and I ate an edible. So let's see if you guys can figure out when the edible kicks in. The knives that I have here, I have 2 of my cases, and I can go through it and we can pick out a few knives that I like, and I'll let you guys ask me questions about the knife and what I think about them. What's my thoughts on Nitro V? My thoughts on Nitro V. There's not many of them because I try not to think about it, but my thoughts are I don't like it. I never really have. I'm not a bully. He said he brought that on himself. He instigated himself into that. So I don't like Nitro V, to tell you the truth. I don't own any knives in Nitro V. But I do have my case over here, and it runs the gambit between, oh, yeah, here we go. This is a knife that you guys usually don't get to see in color because the green screen screws it up. This is possibly one of my favorite knives of all time. It's not like Nitro V. I don't really have to have a reason. There's so many other steels out there that I like better. That I'm like, if I can get, if it's an option of not getting it in Nitro V, like if it comes in multiple steels, I'll pick something else. I don't like CPM 154 either. And people are like, why? I was like, I just don't like it. I don't. It's not similar to, it's not, see, that's like, what is Nitro V? Similar to 14C maybe? No, because if it was, I'd like it. So yeah, you guys don't ever get to see this. This was the first Ferrum that I bought directly from the boys at Ferrum Forge. This is in 20 CV with custom heat treat, custom finish. The pocket clip and that area there are finished the same. That is original anodizing because the way that Elliot did the finish on that, and it's all in their in-house ceramic they did. So 20 CV on this. This was their first knife that they started doing really thin grinds on it. This thing's amazing. This is the old school Archbishop. Elliot had this on the workbench, and I came up to the shop and I was like, fuck, I don't have the money for it, but I'm going to have the money for it. And Elliot gave me an incredibly good price for it. I disagree. I absolutely disagree because I love 14C28N and I don't like Nitro V. There's a difference. There's a definite difference. And I don't like the edge you get on 14C. I love the edge you get on 14C and stuff like that. I just absolutely don't like Nitro V. So I'm going to disagree with you there. That's another one. Everybody's like, oh, Nitro V is just basically AEBL is basically like 14C. And I'm like, I don't think it is either. I don't like the properties of it. I don't like the edge it takes. So, yeah, this is old school in-house built up by the boys at the shop. 100% American made. This thing is awesome. Seems logical. Do you like 5160 spring steel? Yeah, no. I don't know, probably. I don't do much in carbon steels. Carbon steel does not last well for me. All of my knives you're going to get are in pretty good stainless steel. So at any rate, yeah, that's one of my favorite knives. It's the first Ferrum I picked up at the shop from the boys. And yeah, this is a really good knife. Elliot has hands that are just a little bit smaller than mine, which he was like, no way. And I was like, yeah, I bet my hands are bigger than yours. And we went palm to palm, and he looked at me and he goes, you are a fucking mutant. Because Elliot is like, I don't want to say he's like 3 inches taller than me, 2 inches taller than me, something like that. He's like 6'6", 6'6", 6'7", something like that. And he's like, there's no way. And we went palm to palm. He's like, you're a mutant. And that's why I love their knives, because they're built by a guy that has big hands and they fit my hands really well. And I found that if you make a knife for somebody with big hands, even people with small hands will still appreciate it. All of my knives were based off what's comfortable for triple XL gloves. Ian Coates, sorry to be a butthead and instigate myself. You're welcome. Feel free to pay me to put you in timeout anytime you want. We have mosquitoes still in San Diego. If you don't, this is a stuff that you rub on mosquito bites to make it stop itching. Thank you very much for the 5 bones, Ian. I appreciate it. Guys, if you're new to the channel, if you do not have to feel that you need to drop super chats, but it's appreciated, because definitely make more money in live feeds on super chats than I do on anything else. Money is the best apology, says Ian. But yeah, sorry to be a butthead, instigate myself. Love you. You take it easy too, bud. I appreciate it. Money is the best apology. There's only Nitro V. The only Nitro V I've had from Civivi. Not impressed. The price bump over 14C. I don't like it. Elliot did a couple knives in it, and I don't like it. Elliot did this knife in Nitro V. And I am lucky enough to have a prototype that's not in Nitro V. My prototype of the Stinger that I ceramic coated is in 9CR, which I love. I like 9CR better than I like Nitro V. So what else we got here? I would not pay more for Nitro V over 14C. No, I wouldn't either. I think that Nitro V's, 14C is such a good knife. I do have some OTFs. You want to see an OTF? Let's, you guys kind of like point me in the direction of what you want to see out of this case. I have got, technically this is my daughter's. I have got the Microtech Ultratech Tanto from April 2015. And then I have a 25th anniversary UTX 85. So this is 85% the size. It's a smaller version, which I think is the perfect size for an Ultratech. So the UTX 85 in the Spartan blade, and this is the 25th anniversary version of that knife. This was a Blade Show exclusive. So I'm trying to scroll through this. Ian's out. Ian's out. Come on, calm down. Everybody's in the timeout box. He was still here. He just couldn't comment. I guess I gotta start shit since Kyle ain't fucking here. Yeah, that's kind of true. Let's see here. Mike, what's your thought on 3V? I don't mind 3V. 3V is an okay steel. I don't know what tied 20. Oh, on the 3V tied 20.5. Okay. I just did a video about it. Ian, go find my video. It's this knife changed my mind, and it's a picture of the 20.5, and it's the titanium one with the Warncliffe blade. I absolutely love it. It is night and day different than the plastic scaled, the FRN scaled one that I got to see before. I was like, well, this is hot trash. And then I got to see the titanium one, and I'm like, okay, this is what I was expecting. Glad I never bought one of those Nitro Vivs. I want to see kukris, Mike. Show me kukris. I don't have a kukri. I don't have a kukri. I've always wanted one, though. I thought about, well, we used to have one. We used to have one in the apartment, and me and my buddy Alan had one in our first apartment, and it moved with us to our house. And then when he got ready to transfer, we were going through stuff, and the deal was we could not remember who bought it, because we bought it somewhere overseas, because we were on a ship together. Then I was on shore duty. We could not remember because we were drunk. We couldn't remember who bought it. So we played poker. We played a hand of poker to see who won the kukri. And he won, and he took that kukri with him, and he still has it. It's in Florida. He moved back out here to California, And then he took it with him to Florida when he transferred. So I don't remember who paid for it. In all honesty, we were like blackout drunk and we woke up at our hotel room and I was like, fuck, we bought all kinds of shit last night in the fucking night market. And we look and we was like, holy shit, we got a kukri and a blowgun. We had a blowgun as well. It was one of those ones that's made out of bone. And it's not, may have been ivory. It was wood and bone. And it had the drag. It was a horrible little knick-knacky bullshit thing that we came back with that trip to. I don't even remember where we were at. May have been Thailand or something, because India, it may have been India. That may have been it. What are your thoughts on MagnaCut? I like MagnaCut that is heat treated well. I've gotten to see a couple knives of MagnaCut that were properly heat treated and it's good. But if it's not properly heat treated, you may as well just throw it in a lake. 9CR over Nitro V, your edibles have kicked in. No, I don't like Nitro V. I would absolutely take 9CR over Nitro V. I would take 9CR over 50 CPM 154. It just doesn't take the edge I want. The UTX 70s are super fun. Yeah, they're little. I think the edible is kicked in. I don't believe it is. Like my UTX 85. What a bully. Not a bully. Seems logical. You just need to buy the Clash. A Kalash? Cali Ash? It's a Cali Ash. No, I'm eating an edible, so there's no Cali Ash in the house right now. There may be later. I don't like that talk. Okay. Let's see here. I have a new red Ultratech. Some of their colored ones are cool. Elliot is the one that got Anthony to start doing those Star Wars themed, the Star Wars themed Ultratechs. Did someone say my name? Yes. Have a combat Truodon? I don't, because they're too expensive, but it is my favorite. Well, it was before I saw the Deadlock. It was my favorite out the front. And then I got to handle the Deadlock by Grant and Gavin Hawk. And now I'm like, I've got to sell a testicle. We're out here. Wow, I'm trying to put you in timeout, you sticky salami sandwich. I mean, if you want, I guess I'll put you in timeout. Zoroaster 305 was blocked for 5 minutes. Let's see here. You guys can go check this out. Lacey, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a I don't like watching myself do a cut test. I don't like watch. The reason you guys don't ever see cut tests, I don't like watching cut tests. I do cut tests, but I don't like watching them. I don't find them entertaining, and therefore I don't want to have to film and edit them. That's why you very rarely see them. The likelihood of me, as much as I like you, Lacey, as the likelihood of me going and watching that video is slim and none. And I think Slim just got on a bus. He's out of town. How long is the stream going till? Probably 2 hours. We got 43 minutes. We haven't talked about anything yet. It was actually depressingly bad. Let's see here. What location did you bring us? My living room. Like I said, the studio is full of dry goods that I have to double bag. And if you guys have ever done a fumigation for termites, they bring you these bags, and everything that is not in a container similar to this has got to be packed up because you can poison yourself, apparently. I don't know why. They say it's colorless, tasteless. It doesn't fucking penetrate. But for some reason, all of my dry goods, all of my refrigerator stuff, all of my frozen stuff has got to be packed up, double bagged in these bags. So that's what I've been doing. And it's a mess out there, and I just didn't want to try and clear it up. 9CR is Sencut. 9CR is a steel that they use. Sencut is the budget brand of their budget line at We Knife. So We Knife Company owns Civivi, who owns Sencut, and it's all like it's like a tier. And I have to say, the last few Civivis I've had, guys, the Civivis I've had come in recently are as good as the first We Knife Company knives I've seen. Their quality has went up on their stuff exponentially, and it's in tiers. The stuff that you're seeing come out of Sencut is what Civivi was like when they first started doing it. So now I have a mid-range line of knives that are as good as the stuff they were making when they first started making knives. I love this community. Well, I'm glad you're here. There's like 52 people here. It's a good one so far. Oh, Lacey, I'm sorry. I didn't know you. How do you keep, Ian, how are you able to drop F-bombs? How is that possible? I come back to seeing a bunch of deleted messages. I haven't deleted anything. Oh, I see. Okay. Much love to Ian. I like a joke. I like Ian too. How many Band-Aids do I use in a month? I use a lot. I cut myself. So if you guys saw the video about the Aiden, I see your donation. I'll get to it in a second. Did you guys see the video? I tried to take the tip of my finger off from like right. I cut in and then down. So I cut in under the quick on my fingernail and then down and took a chunk out of it. And it bled pretty good. I cut myself all the time because what you guys don't see is, yeah, I'm talking, but there's a light here and there's a light here. And I am stretched out. That's why I can't make videos if my back's fucked up. I have a tripod in between me and I'm leaned over it at a weird angle so that I can reach in, but I can still see the viewfinder. And that's how I film, is watching the viewfinder, make sure everything's in focus and stuff. That's why I hit the tripod all the time. Every once in a while, because you have no depth perception when you're looking at a 2D image, I will stick a knife in my finger. I'll stick a knife in my hand here and things like that. I've done that twice this month. I use a lot of Band-Aids. My wife's she's like, that's one of the things that we buy a lot of. Some people have a kink for domination. This is true. Hey, I'm not going to kink shame. Like I've said before, I don't think it's right to kink shame anyone unless you have a foot thing, because fucking feet are disgusting. There is a fumigation that will get rid of what Mike has. Thanks for the 10 bones, by the way, Aiden. I don't have my bell. My bell is out there buried. Friday, we should have a live feed in thing. I should be done enough that we can do a live feed in the garage, in the studio. There's a fumigation process. No, I fumigate to get rid of spideys. Yeah, I was like, ooh, I better take all my spider coats with me. It's going to kill them. My spideys. What the hell are dry goods? Pasta, beans, anything that's dry that you cook with. You know what I'm talking about? Flour, salt, sugar, staples, those things. Sometimes I worry about you, Mark. I worry a lot. Room tour. There's a couch. I'm not showing you the rest of the house because, like I said, fucking house is a mess because I have to go through everything because we keep a lot of dry goods because my wife's Japanese and she ships all these soup mix base powders and all this stuff. So much stuff, like boxes and boxes of stuff. So no, the house is a mess. You don't need to see what's around. Like there's a couch, there's a paddle, and there's Ricky Gaunt. It's an autographed picture of Ricky Gaunt, race driver. And it is level. It's just the angle, the weird angle that I've got you guys at. It's twisted. Dry goods kind of dry, like, let us drop the bombs. No, because then it just goes off the rails. Can you explain to me why We Knife Company discontinued the Bishop and the Deacon? I can tell you why. They probably didn't sell well. It's pretty simple. If a company discontinues a knife, whether you like it a lot or not, you may have been one of the only 6. See what I'm saying? Fuck. I don't. How is this happening? I have to go back and investigate. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll down through this. What kind of knives you got in the box next to you? Are they all safe queens? I don't have safe queens. I pulled my fucking $1,000 Norseman out of my waistband earlier and proceeded to cut a piece of drywall for my neighbor and then come back in and touch it up. I've done it twice now. I cut a line on a piece of drywall for my neighbor because he couldn't find his utility knife. And so we cut it so that he could snap it with this. So there are no safe queens in my house. This box contains all of my Ferrum Forge knives, all of my Microtech knives, all of my Wii knives, a couple customs, and a bunch of stuff that is just random stuff that I really like. Dip your toes in ranch, Mike. Disgusting. Disgusting. Let's see here. Wow, there's a lot of comments I'm missing. I need to get caught. I got to catch up. If I did not read your comment, I apologize. What are you doing? How is this happening? Who is approving this? Yes, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what's happening. The only thing I have that's close to a safe queen, seriously, the only thing I have that's close to a safe queen is this. This is a Ferrum Forge Fortis. God damn, sorry. This is what not sleeping does. This was one of 20 that got a really special finish. It has a unique blade finish to it. Sorry, I thought I heard something. It's got a really unique blade finish to it. It was tumbled for several days in a specific medium. This was a grail knife for me, and this was a gift from my buddy Nico. And so I don't carry this except on rare occasions. This is mainly because I 100% cannot replicate that finish. That wasn't it. It's just there was a filter that it was supposed to be. So yeah, this is the closest I have to a safe queen because it never gets carried. Does she spank you with the paddle, Mike? No, that doesn't come off the wall. That was when I left Naval Base San Diego and stopped doing the ATFP, the counterterrorism, counter surveillance. That was a going away present. So she does not, and I don't have the bell, so I have another knife that I kind of think of as like a safe queen, but I could easily get the finish. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just surprised because usually when you set those filters, I may have to go and check. When you set the filters, it catches everything and people get upset because of that. But that's not I just never saw it. I thought that was blocked. You're doing that because you know I'm going to read it. This is disgusting. I like putting salt on toes and licking it. Give it a try, Mike. You might like it. I don't like you right now, but thank you for the $5. I'm not a tyrant. I'm just saying, like, I thought it was blocked. I'm not saying you guys can't. Like to see some of your customs you made. Any handy? Robert, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a little insight in how knife making works. If you are a knife maker, you don't own any of your knives, period. Why? Because you're not making them for you. You're making them to sell. I don't own a single custom knife that I made, not a one. And that's because by the time you spend all that time and you've paid for materials and stuff like that, the money has to come back to you so that you can make the next knife, which means you have to charge them. You have to sell that. If I was independently wealthy, I would make all the knives I wanted and I would just have a collection of just shit that I like because I made it myself. But I'm not. So any knife that I ever made had to be sold, period. I have a custom knife here at the house that I made. It's not even mine. It's my daughter's. I made it for her for a birthday present. Oh, that bottle's really thick. It won't. Your filters mean nothing. You have any brown customs? I do not. I don't. I only liked the brown Cortex. Well, it depends on which brown customs you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see here. No, you don't have to do that. I just don't want to get this thing demonetized. As long as we stick to the rules on other stuff. Let's see here. I'm trying to scroll. I'm trying to get caught up with you guys. Only facts. How old's your daughter? Well, there's some facts you don't need. What's going on, John? Sorry I couldn't stick around in your live feed the other night. I was John was doing a live. Was that last night? I don't know. I haven't slept. I've been up for more than 24 hours, filming, editing, and then realizing that I could not put a coherent thought together in that video, and then refilming it and editing it and stuff like that. So I don't remember what it was, but John was live, and I logged in, and a pretty good feed. I listened to some of it. I just couldn't stick around. I was busy doing stuff. Let's see here. Trying to get caught up on all this. The occasional swear words are okay. It's just not using it excessively will get a video demonetized. Yes, I know. I know how that works. I don't know how often it happens, but I have heard of it. Usually it's with bigger channels that have a lot more people and there's a lot more cursing. So, yeah. Well, you'd be surprised at that shit. Like, fucking, like, I want to know this answer. Oh, fuck you. I got a question. I'm not answering that. That's the nice thing about being being the one running the channel. Guys, I will tell you, my back hurts. This couch. I tried to take a nap on this couch. My wife sleeps on this couch a lot because she has a bad back, and so she moves around and doesn't want to wake me up. Like, I slept on his couch for maybe an hour or two if I got any sleep, because I really don't think I did. And I was like, oh God, my back. Do I have a knife that I've done that to? Yes. As a matter of fact, because I keep and take care of things, I have the first knife I was ever given. I have an old Camelus number 41 or 42. That was the first knife I was ever given. And you can definitely see where that has been sharpened. I will say this is redonkulously sharp. But you can see that I've definitely had to reprofile and thin the blade a little bit to make it cut. I've had this knife since I was, Jesus Christ, I was 6 when I got this. 6 years old. I've had this knife for 42 years. So yes, I have. So, I was a gunner's mate. I did real work. CT. I was a CTR. I sat in an air-conditioned room and looked at radios. Who invited you? I'm kidding. A lot of my friends were CTRs. I hung out with a lot of guys in combat. Cryptotex, by the way, in case you don't know what that is. Yeah, that's what it was. What happened to Camelus? Camelus was bought and sold. They never made a lot of really good knives. That was a really good knife. Like I said, I've had that for 42 years. That thing has skinned and cleaned more squirrels and rabbits. I will tell you, because we were poor, and that's why I got the knife. My dad was like, "Hey, you need a knife that you can use for field dressing a rabbit or a squirrel or whatever." I was sent out in the woods with a bow and arrow or a rifle every day. And if I didn't hunt good, we didn't have meat. We just had vegetables. That's when you know you're poor. Being poor, like people, oh, I grew up poor. Really? Did you have indoor plumbing? Because we didn't. Literally. You had to go outside to take a shit in a box outside in the cold weather. So I hear all these people talk about being poor. Like literally, if I did not kill an animal to eat, there was a good chance that like we'd have enough meat for 2 nights. You could hunt every day and then you'd try and stockpile some stuff. That's when you know you're poor. But my dad got me that knife. That knife has skinned more squirrels and rabbits than anyone here. I would put money on it. Yeah, hunt good. You don't hunt well. You feel well. You do something. How do you feel? You describe that as well. How do you do something? You do it good. I do a good job. Fuck you and trying to tell me how to speak my native tongue. My mom grew up in a garage. What the fuck is that? Let's see. We're an hour in and we've looked at 1 knife out of my collection, really. There is another knife that I almost would consider I have 2. I have 2 knives that I would almost consider as safe queens. The fully carved, fully done. Well, Lace, I'm going to tell you, it was a lot like Siberia without the ice, and we didn't speak Russian. I've been to Siberia. I know what you're talking about. Like I lived out in a country. I have my fully customized carved Master Blaster by Elliot Williamson. And I have another one of his fully custom and carved knives. Now, this was a commissioned piece. This isn't a maker's choice. This was not part of the run. This was a commissioned piece by my friends. This is their collab with Mike Gavick over at Gavco Knives. This is the spinner, and this was done. This was done also by Elliot, and those are all hand carved with a Dremel. Elliot will take an actual bullshit garbage Dremel, like not even the good ones that have like yeah. Elliot does love the HR Geiger stuff. That's why it looks like that. That's why it looks like that. So the one with the motor that's on it, it doesn't have the cable. He'll just get one of those and then just carve with that. So that's a 1/32 end ball end mill that he did those scales with, and they're on the pocket clip. This one is called the Marlin. Can you see it? Do you see why it would be called the Marlin? I love this knife. I love this knife. It is so good, but it never gets any pocket time because I don't want to have to take it to Elliot and get it refinished and things like that. But yeah, that Master Blaster, there it is. That Master Blaster, the Geiger stuff, this was absolutely, Elliot knows I like that biomechanical, that he does the Giger-esque stuff. Copper inlay, and then it stands proud. So he carved it. As you can see, the copper inlay was tall. He didn't grind it flat. He just carved out of it. No, it's the spinner. So when they do okay, so let me explain. This knife was called the spinner. But then the maker's choice, the carved ones, would all be given a name based on what Elliot went into it. So when Elliot looked at the knife, he goes, well, that looks like a swordfish. He's like, I can use the pivot as an eye. I can use this body, and I put the scales and stuff back here. He's like, it'll look like a marlin. And so all of the maker's choice kind of had names that went with them. And so this was the maker's choice spinner that they dubbed the Marlin based on the theme. I know it's weird. It's weird. Elliot's an artist that makes knives. That's just, he found a way to, how did he put it? He said he found a way to feed his passion and his family. Oh, I didn't need that image. I've seen Chuck. I know what Chuck looks like. I don't like the idea of him in a grass skirt. That makes me want to throw up in my mouth. So there's, like I said, there's a couple knives that I have that aren't anything special that are really, really important. And one of them is not just really important, really great. This is the fixed blade version of the Arian. So it's a little bit smaller than the mini Arian. If you saw the mini Arian knife video, you saw this. This was given to me by the designer and the maker. So Chris gave this to me at Blade Show. I'm sorry, not Blade Show. Cali Custom Show. And it's an S90V. And it's important because it's one that he would not have let leave. And what I like about it is it's rough. And it shows how much attention detail he puts into stuff, because this one didn't come out exactly the way he wanted. And that's the one he kept for himself. And then he gave it to me. Oh, pardon me. Pass that soccer ball when you're done, feller. I don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah, there's some other knives in here that are really important. I like to keep this one. This is a discontinued Wii knife. It's the first Wii knife I ever got. This is the 601. I like it because it's really cool and unique. And it would probably never leave my collection because they don't make this knife anymore. Listen to it. This thing sounds great. Mike, don't scroll up. Why? Zoroaster, Chuck it. Did you have a soccer ball named Wilson? I gotcha. Oh, see, now I know the edible kicked in because I'm stuck in the chat. I'm like, I forgot you guys were here. I'm reading. So anyway, like I was saying, the Wii 601, great knife. One of my all-time favorite knives. And it was the first Wii knife I ever got. And that's when I was like, oh, wow, that's a really nice knife. I like that. And then I saw future models from them. Couple of knives that are kind of important to me. I like them because they were, Elliot basically has given me a ton of stuff. This is a prototype Minax that I used the ever-living shit out of. You can see scratches all over this. So Elliot gave me this so I could, this has happened so many times. I walked to Elliot and I'm like, hey man, is that the new knife? He goes, yeah, you want to carry a prototype? And I was like, yeah, just tell me as soon as I can do a video. And he'd be like, hey, you can release that video and I'll film it. So Elliot gave me this Minax that he designed. This thing does not get enough time on the channel. It needs another video. Super good blade. So there's that one. We already saw this one, my Stinger that Elliot gave me. Mine is also a prototype done in 9CR. So this is a prototype Ferrum Forge Stinger. And then, oh yeah, this one too. I was given this by Elliot. This is the first mid-tech run of knives that he did. And it was the Pretium. And I really liked the knife, and he kept trying to throw it away, and I wouldn't let him throw a piece of his company's history away. And so when he tried to throw it away, he's like, look, I'm going to give that to you. And I was like, okay. So it was a gift. And he was like, just don't bring it back to the shop. And 2 days later, I brought it back to the shop and did black ceramic and a green anodized over travel stop, because it really is such a good knife. It's a little thick behind the edge, but I've kind of laid that angle way back. It's done in Elmax with a custom heat treat. This was, Elliot made the blades in-house. This was his first run of mid-tech style stuff, but it wasn't truly mid-tech. He had a CNC in the shop for a while. So he gave me that. That was pretty important. And then the boys sent me this, which is currently my knife of the year, which is the Aloris. If you guys have not gotten to check one of these out, this is a great knife. I will tell you what, there is in all of my videos a Blade HQ affiliate link. Absolutely, you should check one of these knives out, because I think they're under 300. Stupid good. So those knives are kind of important for those reasons. What else we got? What else have I pulled out of here? Oh, I have a couple of cool knives in here that were gifts as well. These are some of my favorite knives. That's what we're doing on this one. This is a knife that was given to me by one of my paying members. This is an Olamic 247. And then I redid the ano and everything on it. I did the green ano on the pivots and the backspacer. And then I stonewashed the blade to clean it up because it had a black washed blade, an acid wash blade. And I didn't like it. I have to say that is one of the most comfortable pocket clips on any knife. I love this knife. And that pocket clip looks like it should be all hot spotty and angular and weird. I love it. This thing is so comfortable in your hand. It is not an attractive knife. It's not. It's absolutely not. But it's 100% one of the most comfortable knives I've ever carried. And it's just about perfect. Good night, Mike. I'm getting tired. Well, you go to bed. You go get some sleep. I just realized how late it is here, and I'm still wide awake because I'm drinking coffee at 8:30 at night. It's probably not a good deal. That's that coffee brand coffee, maple pecan. It's really good. If you guys want coffee, go to Coffee Brand Coffee, pick out a flavor, use my coupon code CrazySharp, save you 5%. This is another knife that Alex gave me that I really like. It's Heretic Knives Medusa Auto. Why am I drinking coffee at 9? I'm drinking coffee at 9 because I haven't slept. I was up all night filming, and then I don't sleep well during the day. And then I realized that I have to do all this stuff for the fumigation. So I just started, I laid here for a couple hours, but I guarantee I didn't get any sleep on this couch. So that's why I've been up and I need sleep. Can you guys see the bags under my eyes? I'm not going to lie. Bags under my eyes were so bad. And I was talking to a buddy of mine. He goes, hey, my wife said if you put preparation H under your eyes, see that greasy under your eyes? Yeah. Shit. It's 11 for me. Yeah, this is a button lock auto Heretic Medusa that was a gift from Alex IO. This thing is so good. Still has the original H clip. This gets can you tell that this gets carried a lot? All those dings and stuff on it. And everybody's like, well, you got a button lock. Like, no, they were bad. They were really bad, Chuck. It's because I don't sleep. So somebody was like, you actually carry an auto? And I was like, I carry this thing all the time. Look, what about if a cop sees it? And I was like, what? If I'm in public, that's how I open it. I open it like I open it two-handed. I just don't let them know that I'm only holding it like that. I open it up like I've got a two-hander on it. So, man, I just realized something, that I'm that friend that would just give you a knife you said you liked, even if I'm sorry, I should be reading it over here. Even if I just bought it, depending on the price that is. Winston Cabretti, I watched him do that. We were over at my neighbor's. That's another knife that we should look at. We were over at my neighbor's, and Winston had bought me a PMP Big Boy and gave it to me as a gift. I had given my neighbor George a couple of pocket knives, and we were talking about this one, and he goes, yeah, Mike showed me his. He's like, that's a really good knife. Winston had the same knife in his pocket, gave it to my neighbor, just pulled it out of his pocket. Here you go. And my buddy George was like, no, I can't do that. And he goes, man, I got a couple more of them at home. Just take it. And I was like, bro, that's like a $200 knife. But this great knife. So good. I will tell you that thing. I had a weird thing on my ear for a while, and I was at the VFW here a week or so ago. That's why the Preparation H was out, and I put it on my, never even thought about it. I had this weird thing on my ear that wouldn't heal. It would get like almost like eczema, and it would catch and then it would tear loose, and then it wouldn't heal, and then I'd have another patch of like really tall dry. It felt like a wart at first. And so I was at the VFW right after the wife left for Japan, and I was eating supper because they have food. I didn't go there to drink. Let's put it that way. So I went there because I didn't want to cook, and it's cheap. So I drove up the road to the VFW, and Sandy, the bartender, I was up the bar talking to her. I hadn't seen her in a while, and I stuck my head in and said hi. And I was like, I was telling her thing. I was like, we thought it was cancer, and I said it was a pimple, and now it won't heal. And she's like, come here. And Sandy, she yanked my ear, and she's looking at it. She goes, oh, hell, when you get home, just put a little preparation H on that. It'll take care of it. It'll keep it nice and soft. It'll let it heal, and it'll shrink it all down, keep the blood vessels shrunk down so that it doesn't catch and tear. You don't get. I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And I was like, I like the fact that you just assume I have preparation H at my house. She goes, she's like, you're almost 50, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. She's like, you ain't never had a hemorrhoid? And I was like, have. And she goes, so you got preparation H, right? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, did I assume incorrectly? I was like, nope. It's almost gone. Like putting preparation H on that thing on my ear, almost gone. The shit the doctor gave me, months, didn't work. Junk old fucking 70-year-old bartender told me to put that shit on my ear. It was almost like eczema. It wasn't a wart though. It was almost like eczema. So somebody said we'd like this, love that knife. I love this knife. It's my buddy Tino has said it best. It looks like a Shirogorov that overate during the holidays. He said it looks like a fat Shiro. Would be nice if I have said that a bunch of times. I love Blade HQ, but they don't have their affiliate program that works really well, or I would use it. But I have Blade HQ, but Blade HQ doesn't ever offer points. I would love to be able to send you guys an affiliate link to a Knife Center. And I would love to be able to send you guys over to Knife Center through an affiliate where you can absolutely get points. What was this? Mike, my wife sends her love. Huh? My wife sends her love for have me purchase a sea snake for her kitchen work. She absolutely loves it. Thanks. Oh, okay. You had me there for a minute. I was like, I'm not picking up. I was like, the edible was not that strong. As a matter of fact, it's time for round 2 of those. Sandy sounds hot. Sandy looks like the lady, the suntan lady from There's Something About Mary. She looks like that. She is old and crispy. She looks like a potato that you left in the oven too long. That's what Sandy looks like. She's a sweet old lady, and she smokes one, like she doesn't even care. She lights one cigarette a day. She smokes all day. I swear to God, she only lights one cigarette a day. I have never seen her use a lighter to light a cigarette. It's always before she puts it in the ashtray, she lights another one off of it. And I mean, she doesn't waste any either. Like it's all like you can smell it. I'm like, fucking Sandy, that's filter. You can still smoke in the VFW. They don't kick you out for that. In fact, it's a private establishment. So yeah, she's not hot. She's like one pack of cigarettes from needing that thing in the neck. Or like, she sound like a drive-through. I was like, Sandy, you need to stop smoking because it's gonna suck to fucking talk to you up here. And it sounds like I'm in the Jack in the Box drive-through. Do I go harder than weed? No. I don't even drink these days. I had beer with Dave and Tino. I don't have beer in the house. Like there's not beer in the house. If somebody's coming over and we're going to drink, we have to get beer. You're disgusting. You are disgusting. She looks like a plant you forgot to water. You're like, God damn. Let's see here. Sandy sounds salty as fuck. Sandy's husband was a Master Chief. And she worked at the VFW the entire time he was around. And then he died. And she basically runs that place. She's got to be 75. She works for tips. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting when you go to the VFW. If you've never been to VFW, find a friend that is a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars and have them take you. It is a life experience that every adult male needs to have. It is a visceral experience. You walk in and you're like, what the fuck? 1960 called, they want their bar back. Let's see, what else do I have that's really cool? Oh, I have a prototype. I have an Elliott Williamson prototype. So this was a production prototype. I can't remember which knife this was. This is Elliott's. I got to get it back to him. This is not mine. This is not mine. This was before Elliott started making the knives with the correct flipper tabs. Have you guys, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Elliott will specifically tell people this. If you look at every Ferrum Forge knife, the way their flipper tabs are, everybody's like, oh man, those flipper tabs, they have such good flipper tabs on all their stuff. They do. This is an old one here. This was the big curved back flipper tab that Elliott had on those. And then you had this flipper tab, which is a little bit smaller. These are basically the same knife. They're big brother, little brother. You can see the flipper tabs real similar. Elliott has a thing about his flipper tabs. Every flipper tab gets given the same rigorous testing. He makes the alpha build and he carries it. And every knife he has to be able to put underneath and pop the top off of a beer bottle. Every Ferrum Forge knife, if held like this, and then you take the knife and you go like this, it is one of the most effective bottle openers you will ever use. You can ask 2A Dave. He saw it in person. It doesn't just go and then pull it off like it bend it. No, it pops the entire thing. Pow! And it flies off and you're like, there you go. And everybody's like, that's fucking cool. Like a hinderer. No, a hinderer is in that position in reverse. See, there you go thinking again. Hinderer is turned exactly the opposite. Because when you have this open, see how it does not come into your hand? A hinderer, I was like, every hinderer I've ever picked up, I'm like, why is the pocket clip on backwards? Or the flipper tab on backwards? I don't drink that cheap domestic shit. What are you talking about? Everything I buy is a pop tire, is a non-twister. Mainly because I like Mexican beer. Yeah, so, and if you think Ferrum Forge is overpriced, I don't see, like, these were $550, but you gotta think this is the OG Mordax. Ian. That's the OG Mordax. I did the refinish on this, so it has a very good. When I got it, it did not look like this. It was not as good. It was not as nice. So I stonewashed it, did blue, and I did a really fine stonewash on that blade. Let's see. I was looking at it upside down. I know you was. Let's see here. Yeah, that's one of Elliott's big things that he does is all of the flipper tabs on his knives are like that. Did I put these in a reverse order? Oh, holy shit. There's a spider living in my knife case. We can't have that. I don't like spiders. You can fuck right off, spider. Got him. So, yeah, how many likes we at? I guarantee there's 52 people here. There's probably like 30 likes. Here's a special knife. Here's a pretty special knife. This was the second collab between Mike Gavick and Ferrum Forge. This was the Mako, Ferrum Forge Mako. Hey, there's Winston Cabretti. We were just talking about you. Anyway, sorry. The edible has kicked in. You can see that. So, yeah, this was the second collab. It was called the Mako. I always wanted one of these. And I traded some work for my buddy to get it. He's like, I don't really carry it. He's like, how about this? So how about I give it to you, you keep it, and then we'll just work. You can just work it off and trade on sharpening and re-anodizing. I was like, that works. You know, you sharpen and anodize 3 or 4 knives completely, sharpen, anodize, refinish, do all the fucking refinish work and shit. You've got enough to get it. So yeah, this one was a lot of fun. I'm thinking about selling this one. I'm thinking about selling this one. I think that this might be one I'm going to part with. But then, like my buddy Tino always keeps telling me, he's like, you can't ever get it again. He's like, the second you sell that, there are only 100 of these. He's like, the second you sell it, you're never going to get it back. He's like, the second you sell it, you're going to be out. He's like, so the only way you can do it is you've got to find someone that is willing to promise you that they will only sell it back to you. Like, they can't sell it to anyone that except you. And I was like, that's fair. That's fair. I could do that. But I don't think I would do it. Mike, do you have a blast cabinet? I do not have a blast cabinet, but I know someone that does. So how many folders do I have? Hundreds. Literally hundreds. I have boxes upon boxes and upon boxes of folding knives. Let's see here. Thanksgiving went well. It did. It absolutely did. Don't sell something you would miss. Yes, that's absolutely where I was at with that. So there's a lot of knives. Basically, the knives in this case, I don't think I would part with. Most of them. There's some exceptions. Like, I'm doing this as a giveaway to my paying members. I dribbled something upon it. I spilled something on it. This Gavco Great White, I think, is probably going to be given away to my paying members on the Gilded server. I have not 100% decided yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to go. I don't carry it. I do have to say this thing is amazing. This is Artisan did such a good job on this Artisan Great White. The action on it is amazing for a knife that really objectively is not that expensive of a knife. I have some knives from one of my favorite makers that are in here. It's the Laconico Sirius. Ray has never made a knife I did not like. Never has made a knife I did not like. So, thought about selling your SM100 Stinger. There are only 25 of those or 50 of those. I don't remember, but there was not many. Do not get rid of that. That is the rarest of unicorns. You know what? I don't have an opinion. I really don't know how that would affect the market. I really don't know if we started making USA made knives, if it would hurt them or help them. I don't know, but I think it would open up more possibilities, if you know what I'm saying. Think about where everybody's opinion is right now. Like, they will absolutely go on a website that is owned predominantly by China on a Chinese made cell phone and bitch and complain and scream and holler about Chinese made knives. And I'm like, I don't understand why that's the hill you're going to die on. I'm passionate about a lot of stuff too, but that's like, I would be more inclined to give up technology that was coming in than a tool. You know what I'm saying? So any chance that they're going to do any, they are not, but you have a chance of winning one. If you're one of my subscribers, you have a chance to win one. So I don't know if they are. So, but like I said, I absolutely have two. Do I have two? I think I have two that I'm giving away for my 10,000 sub giveaway. So, have you tried the MBK XLC Integral? I have not, but do you know what I have that I can't find? And I'm really upset about it. I cannot find my slayback. I've seen I've seen that integral. So I've seen it. I just haven't tried it. Ain't no laws when drinking the claws. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's see. What else do I have in here that I really, oh, I have a couple knives in here that are just kind of like special because they're like unique in how much I like them. And they really show off a couple things. This is the CJRB Centros that Dylan Mallory designed. And I was really surprised at how much I like this and how comfortable it is, because I was afraid, knowing that Dylan is literally the size of this bottle. I was afraid that it was going to be something I wouldn't like. I'd seen pictures of it, never got to handle one. They gave me one, and it came to me from CJRB and Artisan, because they're sister companies, even though one's Artisan's an American company, and CJRB is still in China. The owners are best friends. They share the same manufacturing facility. So they also share the same. Basically, the Artisan company rep is also the CJRB US rep. So at any rate, they sent me the CJRB Centros, and I was like, fuck, I love this. Like, how did Dylan, with his little itty bitty hands, make something that was that comfortable? And Elliot and I both was like, I don't get it. Like I said, Dylan's like smaller than Nico. It's like, if I can hop in my pocket, I'll give you a ride kind of thing. And I was really surprised how much I like that. Enough that if you see that I've anodized the knife, or if I've done a black ceramic coating on the blade, that means I really like it. I didn't want this blade to rust. It's in D2, and I'm really good at it. Later, Chuckit. Chuckit's a truck driver. He doesn't get a lot of sleep. So another one that I was really, really surprised how much I liked is the Artisan Mastiff. They sent this to me for review, and they were like, fuck, keep it. Do whatever you want. They're like, we're sending you a box of stuff. Artisan has sent me a lot of stuff. And I was like, they sent me this, and I was like, I really like it. And they were like, well, you can do whatever you want with those. Like, we're giving them to you. And I was like, holy crap, are you serious? So I got the Mastiff, which is an amazing, amazing knife. It's big. It's bigger than Dylan. And then another knife that I really like, and it's kind of special, is this is that Miguron Valona that Jared gave me. This is one of my favorite knives, period. And it's like $70. This thing, when he gave it to, I was so mad. Like, I can honestly say I was mad at Jared. And he was like, well, I was mad at him because of this knife. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I just looked up the price. Like, he let me, like, I was mad at him because in my head, I was like, you let me think that this was a $200 knife. It is so fucking good. I was like, what the fuck? This is so good. And I was like, it's got to be I was thinking 150 to 250 in that range. And I was like, so I look it up, and I'm like, the Miguron Valona. And I was like, $70 fucking dollars. Are you kidding me? And no, it's not in D2. The new ones are in 14C. This is in DC 53. DC 53. They don't do this in K110. Mine is not in 14C. 14C is what they make it out of now, which is a very good steel as well. I love this DC 53 steel. It's really good. But I was absolutely amazed by the fact that this was under $100. Like, because if you guys watch my reviews, the way I do it is, to stay honest, I get a knife in and I look at it and I make an initial impression. When you see the unboxing, I talk about what I'm seeing when I unbox it. We unbox knives together now on the channel. That's why there was 3 unboxing. I did the off grids. Then I put that away And then a little bit later, when I've gotten more content and I've got a clear spot on the shelf of knives I'm reviewing because stuff has moved out and is going back to its original owner, then I'll put another knife up there and then it gets its first day in pockets. So knives on the right are in various stages of review, working towards knives on the left that are almost done and getting ready to go back in their box. So I was amazed because I don't look at the price. So first day in pocket, it just goes in my pocket. I carry it for a few hours. I use it on a bunch of stuff. And I just basically midday will be like, okay, this is what I think of this knife. And it's really a matter of like blind first impressions. But that way, I don't know the price. So if I don't know the price, I can't be swayed and think, well, it's a $70 knife. There's a stigma attached with that. There really is, and it shouldn't be, but there's a stigma attached to knives that are under $100. And so to prevent that, I get these knives in, and sometimes you pick them up and go like, yeah, it's like a $30 knife. It's a piece of shit. Sometimes you get that, but Jared has never sent me anything in that kind of thing. I'll get them every once in a while. But then you do your final review, and that's when you look up your price. Because when you look up the specs, you'll see the price, and I'm like, Jesus. This thing is so cheap. I was mad that Jared did not warn me. I was mad at him because this knife was so good. So I have a couple petrified fish that are in right now, and they are really good. I think no, that's right. They're not 70. They're 47. They were under 50 when I got this one. Did I get to give the final approval on Sea Snake? Absolutely. Like they didn't make anything until the same thing with the Stonefish, my other design, the one I did with We Knife Company. They sent me prototypes and they're like, what do you think? And I was like, it's good. It's good. And I was like, just go to town. They're like, well, we don't want to do that yet because I got that AR. I was the first person to get to test AR-RPM 9. They're like, tell us what you think about it from a sharpening standpoint, edge retention. And so I used the shit out of my Sea Snake and I called them. I was like, do it. And they're like, what about the steel? Do it. Do it in that steel. I really like it because it's easy to maintain. So yeah, I mean, they sent them to me. I carried it. I went through everything. I made sure the hardware was the way I wanted, the sheaths, that they had the weep hole. I did the stuff in, I got them to do it so that the sheaths, it was kind of unique. The sheaths on the Sea Snake matched the color of the handles, which is something that's kind of out of character. It was Artisan does that now on their fixed blades, and that was my idea to make the sheaths match. Best cheap knife is a good question. Here's the thing. I'm not going to tell you what the best cheap knife is. One, because I don't like cheap knives. I like budget knives. A cheap knife is just going to fall apart and it's going to be garbage. A budget knife is something you're going to be able to afford, but it's going to last a while. There's a big difference between cheap and budget. Cheap is garbage. If you're just looking for the cheapest knife you can find, you can get them. M-Tech makes them. You can get them. They're like $5-10 each. If you're looking for a good budget knife, that all falls into what is your budget? And two, what are you going to do with it? Because then that dictates what steel you're looking for and what configuration knife, and then you can find a knife in your budget. Fish. Yes, best cheap knife. So, who made this? Artisan Cutlery made it. Blue balling us on budget knives. No, I'm just budget. Like I would say, in my opinion, the best budget knife is probably this. And it's going to be based on my use. It's going to either be my Sea Snake or the QSP Penguin, because I can use this for anything and it's like $30 fucking. Because you can get $150, $200 version of this knife, but fucking why? When this $30 version of it looks the exact same, it's the exact same configuration. It feels exactly the same in hand and it cuts good. If I can get that for $30, there you go. You can't go wrong with this. And like I said, if you're looking for a fixed blade, mainly because I'm the only person that made a little fixed blade in that configuration, the Sea Snake, because once again, for me, the best budget knife I'm ever gonna have is something that's in a configuration like a Wharncliffe or this, because I can use it for so many fucking things throughout my day to day, and at a budget, small fixed blade, Wharncliffe, Sea Snake, small pocket clip or small folding knife EDC, Wharncliffe, sheep's foot, QSP Penguin for $30. I think the Sea Snake's like $30 too. I don't have one of my Sea Snakes out here. I can't. I'm sorry. I can pull up a picture of it. Hang on a second. Artisan Sea Snake images. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Where's QSP Penguin made? It's done by QSP, so it's made in China. Present. Share screen. Chrome tab. I think it's this. There you go. There you go. There's the Sea Snake. There's the Sea Snake for you, Christopher. Is there 14C28N good? Who's 14C28? Another knife, this QSP Penguin. Another knife that I liked enough, I took apart and ceramic coated because I wanted to protect the D2 blade from rusting. Any solutions for removing hairline scratches from bead blast finishes? Yeah, you got to reblast it. There are no snail trails. That's why I don't like blasted finishes. I've had guys like, oh, I just want you to blast a knife for me. You say this, but I don't think you do. Like, I hear the words that are coming out of your mouth, and I know you think that's what you want, but it's not what you want. The best thing that you can do for a blasted finish is to stonewash it. Best finish on any knife ever if you're just looking for a worker finish. I'm going to show you it right now. It is a blast and stonewash. This knife is the oldest Ferrum Forge I own. This is the first one I ever bought. This is one that I didn't even buy it from the boys. I bought this from a vendor. The very first one. The finish on that blade is still clean. And that's because it's a worker finish. It's a blast and tumble. Now, of course, I Gucci'd out the pocket clip because it's mine. QSP 14. I've never tried their 14C. From what I've heard, it's pretty good. Do I have a stonefish? I have a production stonefish, but it's out in the studio. I'm not going out there to get it. That one I'm proud of, and I'm working. There's going to be, if I can swing it, don't everybody get excited at once. Hopefully there's going to be a 2.0 version and a dagger. It's actually going to be a 2.0, a mini 2.0, and then a couple different blade configurations. That's what I would like to see happen. 14C is hard to mess up. Let's see here. Okay, the 108. You say the 105, I say the 108. I say you like the 105, I will take the 108 over it. Blasted finishes will tend to rust faster. Yeah, I mean, if it's on steel, it may have been on scales. Let's see here. Consider budget $30 to $50. Yeah, then like I said, $30 to $60, 30 to 50. I think this is still in the $50 range. CJRB RIA, QSP Penguin, like I said. Yeah, the 801. I'm sorry, the 801. QSP Penguin. Let's see what else is in that price range that I really do like. I mean, this is 50. So this is probably one of the best knives. It's not, she ain't pretty. She ain't pretty. But boy, can she fucking cook. This is an amazing knife. If you guys, any of you country boys will know that. You've got that friend that married a chick and you're like, man, she ain't a good looker. And you're like, man, Rod, what the fuck? He's like, oh, I know she ain't much to look at. Oh, but boy, can she cook. Is that the more Maialea? No, it's not. This is a completely different knife. It doesn't even look like the Maialea. Maialea's got much different lines, but this is that button lock. I don't make plans. I don't like when they fall through. I just kind of let shit happen. What are we talking about? They all look bent over a stump. They all look good bent over a stump. Oh. Man, fucking, I'll never forget that. Like, I walk in and he's like, oh, look, meet my wife. And this is a guy that I've known for years. This is a Navy guy, actually. I've known him for years. And I'm like, he always dated these fucking gorgeous models, looked like models. And then I met the chick he married. And then I was like, ooh, pussy must be fur lined. And I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, he's like, oh yeah. She walked out and he goes, I know, before you say anything, he's like, she ain't a lot in the looks department. He's, but boy, can she cook. I was like, that's your criteria. That's your fucking criteria. What's my favorite steel? My favorite all-around steel of all steels is probably a toss-up between 14. No, it's not. It's RWL 34. I'm sorry. RWL 34, probably my favorite all-around steel. It takes a ridiculous edge. It really, no, he was absolutely talking about her food. He was absolutely talking about her food. At any rate, RWL 34 is super consistent, super clean. And the edge that it takes is just ridiculous. It is ridiculous how fine an edge it'll take and still have tooth and be hazardously sharp. So hands down, RWL 34. A lot of people are like, oh, there's better steels out there. There might be, but as far as consistency, cleanness, the way it cuts, the edge retention, the edge it holds, all around, it's my favorite. And plus, sharpening it is a dream. If you like sharpening things, RWL 34 is very rewarding in what you get. Like, you can get 1,000 grit. That's 1,000 grit edge on that. That's 1,000. That's not a mere 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. That's what 1,000 grit looks like on this. It just gives you exactly what you want. I just realized how insane I sound when I talk about sharpening. I get it now. I understand now why people in public, when this subject comes up and somebody asks me a question, they're like, there's like weird looks that I get. And I just heard myself talking about it because I'm watching it for the first time. Like how I talk about fucking sharpening knives. I'm like, God damn, I sound like a maniac. I will put you in timeout, young lady. I like S90V a lot too. S90V is on a list of, you have RWL 34, and then there's a lot of just knives that I'm just like, I would take any of them. If it didn't matter what the knife was, if they were offered that steel, I'd still get it. But looking at the steel is typically the last thing I look at in a knife purchase. I did a video about that. So I'll go down the list. And as long as the knife meets all the stuff I want and it's comfortable in hand and stuff like that, I'm probably not even going to ask what the steel is. But if it's in like 14C, S35VN that's been done well, 3V, M4 is amazing. Benchmade's M4 is amazing. But some of my other favorites are S90. It's up there on my list. ARPM 9 is really high on my list because it's interesting. I like it because it's weird. You don't want to sharpen it above 600 or 800 grit because then it just gets slick. But for certain applications, it's amazing. You can take it up to 10,000 grit and you can just literally peel a hair in half. And I'm like, okay, if you were doing something with wood, like cleaning up and you were cutting, that would leave you a super fucking clean finish on that cut. And I was like, oh, okay. But the cool thing about our ARPM 9 that I really like is you can get it dull to the point where they're like, wow, this is dull. And then just give it a couple minutes on a strop and you can probably bring that edge back. I did a video about it. I cut cardboard for hours, like filled buckets full of cardboard. And that knife got dull and I showed it wouldn't cut hair and I stropped it and it came right back up to hair popping sharp. And I mean, it was dull. Like it didn't want to cut newspaper. Like it was just ripping. And I stropped it and it just came up so freaking clean and just right back to hair popping and screaming through paper. I was like, that is not at all what I was expecting. Because everybody's like, oh, it's just 9CR. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you, I don't think it is. Does the Sea Snake come in my Micarta handle or just G10? They may have some of the Micarta ones, but they're not $50. The ones with the Micarta handles are 120, I believe. They're regular price. I think they're 140. They're on sale right now, or they're 160 and they're on sale right now to 120. They don't. Yes, you are correct. Robert Lovelace. Bob Lovelace. Always want to meet that dude. I was going to do a gag and I just ran out of time to get this stuff set up. I was going to get a Ouija board and I was going to do a fake seance with the ghost of Bob Lovelace for the 24-hour knife rate thing. Because everybody got all bent out of shape. You guys want to hear a story? We got like 8 minutes left in this live feed. So last year, I had a spot that was right about 9 o'clock, I think, during the 24-hour knife rates live feed. And so I had asked Bob Terzuola if he would mind stopping by. And he goes, I don't know yet. We'll see. I said, I'll send you the invite if you can. If you can stop by, that would be cool. If not, I'm not going to say anything to anyone. And so I had Sharif Manganis and someone else on as a guest. And Bob pops up and I was like, oh, hey, guys, I didn't say anything about this. I told everyone we may have a special guest, like a really special guest. And everybody, I'm like, don't get excited. I don't know if it's going to happen yet. So Bob pops in and I bring him up on screen and everybody was like, what the fuck, man? That's Bob. That's Bob Terzuola. And I was like, hey, Bob, what's going on? And he was like, he's like, I had to get ready. He's like, I'm 75 or so. He's like 77 at the time. He's like, I'm 77 and I wake up every morning. And I was like, really? I wouldn't have put you for a day over 80. And I'm just messing around with Bob. And it was one of the best live feeds. So we get ready to set up for this year's live feed. And everybody was just so surprised to have Bob Lovelace as a guest. And so this year when we were doing the 24-hour knives live thing, everybody was like, yeah, everybody's going to have guests. It'll be cool. Everybody's guests, you don't have to let us know. He's like, just remember, don't be a dick like Mike and fucking one up everyone by having a fucking absolute legend like Bob Terzuola on. And that's why I was like, I wanted to do the Bob Lovelace. Wow. That edible definitely kicked in because that was a long roundabout thing about telling you guys about a Ouija board with Bob Lovelace. That was weird. Spyderco doesn't bother with 14C28N because they know how to heat treat. Here you can say that, but one of my favorite steels is 14C28N. It's like you can say that that's for companies that don't that don't know how to heat treat, but I'll tell you that, you know, Spyderco fucking can't even get a goddamn lock back rate sometimes. There's fucking, I've got a couple, I'm like, what the fuck? So, you know, pick and choose your battles. It's like Benchmade using the access lock because they couldn't figure out any other way to do a flipper. They're like, we can't make it work. We don't know how it works. We'll just do this. Which, all joking aside, one of my favorite knives, since we're talking about favorite knives, is the Benchmade 940. It's pretty useless. It's pretty worthless in cutting. It's really thick and nasty behind the edge and doesn't want to slice real well. And it's not real ergonomic because it's too thin. You can't do any heavy duty cutting. And I fucking love it. I don't know why. I love everything about it. It's amazing. It's one of those unicorn knives. And I'm like, yep, it's pretty fucking useless. Sign me up. All companies put out garbage from time to time. Spyderco consistently puts out superb products. That's two. That's two strikes. That's two strikes. All you have to do from here, you want to get put in timeout? Fucking start telling me how good fucking mint chocolate chip ice cream is. And I'll tell you, you're fucking wrong. I'm trying to see where we're at on this. Lacey, some of us are too old for the hottest new models. I've come to terms with my limitations and expectations. I'll tell you what I come to terms with is that I'm going to wake up for the rest of my life every morning and feel like I was in a car accident while I was sleeping. That's just, I'm just, that's my expectations. That's my limitations and expectations. I'm going to wake up every morning and just feel like somebody beat me with a hammer all night. I fucking saw. Have you guys seen the Tommy Copper commercial with the dude that was from SVU? I can't Chris something. I can't ever pronounce or ever remember his Maloney, Mike Maloney, or Maloney. That dude, Chris Maloney. That's what it is. Have you seen the one where he's doing it and he wakes? He's like, "That's a new one." That's how I feel every time I see that commercial. I laugh because I'm like, yeah. I get that. That makes fucking sense. Mint chocolate chip. It's disgusting. It's fucking awful. Why? That's a flavor that should not exist. Maloney baloney. Put a hole in your pony. At least I'm waking up. Yeah, every day above ground is a good one. Like every day above ground is a good day. I don't want to at all detract from that. I'm not trying to say, yeah, wake up, you fucking when a guy. I don't want that. No, every day above ground is a blessing. I get to see my kid get a day old. Well, they're in Japan right now. But yeah, but the fact that I wake up and it just feels like somebody ran over me with a car and then beat me with a sack full of oranges every morning. Like I wake up and I open my eyes and I'm like, fuck. Like there's that one split second. You're like, oh, that was pretty. Oh shit. Get that 1 second where with the endorphins from whatever you were dreaming about has kicked the pain down, those natural opiates, and then you open your eyes and they all kick out and are like, oh fuck, you don't need those anymore. And you're like, oh, what was this? Pitt, most Spidey's by our long-standing model. I have to say, I'm not gonna lie. I love that Spyderco Police. That's a knife that's not in here. It's outside in the other case. That was another gift. The Spyderco Police model that Winston Cobretti got me as a gift is great. My finger bleeding again. Damn, that thing is sore. Fuck. Superstore. Or Superstore, super sore. Pistachio ice cream and sticky hats. That's what dreams are made of. I love pistachio ice cream. That's another thing that, so you guys know I have diverticulitis. I can't have any seeds. I can't have walnuts, almonds. I can't have any seeds, any nuts, any of that. I love peanuts, can't have them. But pistachio ice cream is my favorite ice cream and also my favorite pudding. And I can't have them anymore. Stop. I don't talk about it anymore. I'm all sad. Like, honest to God, I did give myself a haircut. I may have gotten a little overzealous in this corner over here. It's not that I got overzealous. It just doesn't grow the same. It's like it grows from this side over. And then there's like, I have a natural part. I think that's what it is. Yes, I do know the top of my head looks like a puppy's belly. Why the fuck do you think I wear a hat all the time? You don't that's my natural hairline. Like that's my natural hairline. I mean, it could be a scar. I do believe I've got some scars on my head, but yeah, what the fuck? Here's the thing. You've officially, more people right now have seen me without my hat on than my family has. My family hasn't seen me with a hat off in weeks. Most of my friends did not know I had a head underneath this hat. So you guys just cumulatively saw more time of me without a hat on than my family has seen me without a hat on in like a year. So let's see here. I'm scrolling through. What the fuck's that hairline? I can't have pistachio ice cream. Yeah, his wife's allergic to pistachios. Let's see here. Where's it at? What's my favorite color to handles on the? I like the brown. What's your favorite color? Blue. I mean yellow. It migrated to my chin, and now it's coming out my. Okay, so I've lost pretty much all the hair on top of my head. I'm going to lose, pretty sure of it, because now I have hair growing out of my nose and ears. It's like there's plenty of hair still inside my head. It just can't find the right way out. Thought he made that up. What are we talking about? Yes, it's horrible. And like I was saying, I'm probably going to wind up in the hospital before too long. It already is starting to hurt. I'm doing all the stuff I'm supposed to do. I'm eating the foods I'm supposed to eat. I'm taking the stuff that they gave me, and it's already hurting. And I'm like, I'm going to wind up in the fucking hospital. No. Mike took his hat off. The edibles have definitely kicked in. No, I take my hat off occasionally. I just hadn't had it off for any period of time. That's what my head looks like. It's a sad state of affairs. My head actually is physically deformed from wearing this hat so much. Can you see that area there that is like larger? That's where the hat band sits. I've deformed my skull by wearing a hat. And it's literally, I'm not gonna lie, like everybody thinks, oh, it's just the YouTube thing. No, motherfucker, this hat is on my head. Even if there's no one in the house. There are two things I do first thing in the morning. I get up, I grab my hat, and I take a leak. And then I come back and I brush my teeth. And then I put on my whatever I'm gonna wear for the day and go downstairs and turn on the studio lights and start filming. So, guys, this has been a lot of fun. I believe that this is one of my favorite ones we got to do. We can do this some more because there's still knives. Like, you guys get to see them and stuff. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it here because the lighting is pretty good. I don't have the green screen. You guys can see everything in actual color. It's pretty comfortable. Well, maybe we'll do that because I can do that a few times with the wife gone. And I can do it at the hotel. So that might be our live feed stuff. But yeah, you get to see stuff like this. And we can talk about like the stories behind some of my favorite knives. I love this thing. I love this thing. I wouldn't part with it. It is ridiculous. It doesn't serve much purpose unless you're in a very, very bad neighborhood. But I really love it. Like, you're not using this for any form of fine detail work because do you see how thick that thing is? I mean, they did a really good job thinning it out with this compound grind. But it's it's a hatchet. So that would be something. I think we'll have fun with that. It is a Strider collaboration between Mick Strider. Can I get it in focus? Do I have the light to do it? Mick Strider and Anthony Marfione. You guys aren't gonna be able to see it. So yeah, this was a collab between Mick Strider and Anthony Marfione. So it's got a definite Strider-esque feel to it. The handles on it are great. I really, really love this. So those aren't thumb studs. Them's not thumb studs. That's your stop. Those are your stop pins. That's how your knife, that's your lockup. That's your external stop pins. There is no internal. No, the pocket clip doesn't hurt. The old one that Jim Skelton did a video about, the FU clip, this one does not. That little point doesn't dig into anything. It's in a spot in your hand that it doesn't really affect the comfort. So, yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go finish packing up the stuff that I got off the shelf for our dry goods. Paying members, I may put a movie on because I'm going to be up for a little bit because I got a couple things I got to do. So if you're a paying member, look for a link in the Gilded server to movie night if you guys are still wanting to stay up. So guys, I love you all. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad. I was so tired. I was like, I should just cancel the live feed. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do it. And so this has been one of the ones that was fun. It was a lot of, all of them are fun, but this one was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. So, last thing before we go. So the 10,000 subscriber giveaway is coming up. Let's take a look at where we sit on that. And anybody here that's not a member, we can, here we go. Where's analytics? And then count. So to get entered into this giveaway, I'm doing, it's like, well over $1,000 worth of stuff. You've got to be one of my members. Let's see where we're at. We are at 98.19. So if you're watching this and you're not a subscriber, you might want to go subscribe, because when I do that giveaway, you got to be a member and you have to be able to prove it. Like, you have to be a certified member, which means that you're doing all you got it set so that I can publicly find you in my subscribers. So if not, there's other ways we can validate, but I've got to be able to validate that you are one of my subscribers, and I got to validate who you are, because I have had someone claim an item and I almost shipped it, and then the actual person got a hold of me and was like, hey, I just saw that I won. And I was like, ooh. And I was like, where are you located? And he gave me the address. And I was like, yeah, that's not that. And so I had them send verification screenshots of their stuff. So like I said, I've got a ton of stuff. I'm giving away 3 CJRB knives, the button locks, two. Yeah. One of these, and no, 2. I'm giving away 3. I'm giving away the Pyrite and the Pyrite prototype, which is a green G10 handle that you can't find anywhere. They didn't do that in the satin with green G10. And I have the all black version of both this and the Pyrite that I'm giving away. A couple Spydercos, a brand new Spyderco PM2 in crewwear with micarta scales. That Spyderco Hanan, which is the Brad Southard design, that's like, last time I looked at that was going, those were still going for $400 or $500. So I have a lot of stuff that I'm giving away, and all of it is new or either really lightly used because I just used it to do tests for a video. So yeah, guys, make sure you go subscribe. I love you. I'm now really sleepy. The coffee is no longer working. I will see you all later. Take it easy. Let's we'll be back here probably right where we're at on Friday. I will see you guys later.